Hello, everyone. My name is Theo and I am an addict. I'm an alcoholic. I have depression. I have anxiety. And this is going to be the One Day at a Time podcast. I'm 21 years old, and I've been suffering in my own skin for the last 6 or 7 years, whether that be in terms of mental illness and depression, anxiety, or terms of substance abuse to try to remedy that. And so there are a lot of things that I want to talk about on this podcast. And most importantly, I just want to set my intentions that I just want this to be a safe space. And I want to kind of give back the help that I was fortunate enough to receive out here. And if I can help one person feel a little bit better one day, that's good enough for me. I'll keep fucking doing it. I was absolutely blessed with a plethora of tools and people and a great support system when I came out here on my own. And, you know, as far as my addiction issues go, out here, there's so many AA meetings, there's so many NA meetings. Like, it's cool to be young and sober. It's not like New Jersey where if you're sober, you're the loser. So in that sense, I'm really lucky that, and I have a advantage to a lot of people. So I kind of want to give, people who don't have the ability to go to 5 AA meetings a week in LA the chance to kind of, feel safe. I want to give people who might not have insurance and can't seek therapy maybe kind of some help as far as mental illness goes. And not that I'm in a peak position to be of help to you, but I'm going to share my story. And even if you can feel less alone, that's good enough for me. Um, I'll start out mostly, towards where shit got bad for me. I, had a great childhood. And then, I started smoking weed, started drinking, and it was cool. And I thought it was so cool that I built my whole personality around it. I was depressed at the time, so I kind of used that as a remedy for my mental illness and to feel comfortable in my own skin. And obviously, it didn't work. Kind of moved on to partying, and it was definitely an issue. It hindered school, it hindered the soccer I was playing, hindered my family relationships, but it wasn't a big enough obstacle that, I needed to fix it immediately. And towards the end of that partying phase, I kind of cut it down to just drinking. I had a financially successful career as a chef. Definitely wasn't the best chef compared to the people I was working with, but I was financially successful for a 19-year-old making 50 grand. It wasn't bad by any means. And I was just drinking. And then that all changed on a dime. My brother, my best friend, the only person I felt in my life had ever been by my side through everything, didn't judge me, never left, um, developed schizophrenia and ended up taking his own life. Uh, and fuck, that was hard. For about 2 months after he took his life, I kept my shit together to just drinking in order to take care of funeral arrangements, family, that kind of shit. A couple months were up, and shit just went haywire for me. Fucking haywire. Fast. I lost jobs. I developed a really bad cocaine addiction, so bad that it ended up just pretty much rendering me a useless human being towards the end. I'm 116 days clean now. Um, it's part of the reason the podcast is called One Day at a Time, because you got to take that shit one day at a time. But I also think that holds true for mental illness, because even when I wasn't using and I was just severely depressed, sometimes just making it through the fucking day is enough. You don't need to fucking have a checklist done. If you're really in that bad spot, just fucking make it through the day. And with today's day and age of social media and everything going on, fuck, it's so hard not to get caught up in. But just one day at a time. Anyways, back to the story. I had a moment of clarity within my addiction, and I decided I needed help, like real professional help. So I hopped on a plane. I flew. I was in LA the next day. Thankful to my mother, who was a flight attendant, so I could fly here for free. Um, I got put in a pretty decent facility because I have decent insurance. Uh, it's been great. It's been the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. For the first time in 6 or 7 years, I can genuinely say that I'm in a place where I'm looking forward to waking up the next day every day, and I'm getting shit done. I'm no longer procrastinating. Uh, you know, I'm following through, and that's something I haven't been able to do since I was 14. Even with this podcast, like today, I had nowhere to shoot in my place of living, like where I'm at, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it, and said no. We got to take some contrary action to my former actions. And I drove up here. I looked up an Outlook. Topanga popped up, and we're here. And I have a beautiful view to give you guys instead of some stupid wall. So it worked out for the better. I got nervous when I got up here because there's a bunch of people here, and it kind of looks like I'm fucking talking to myself right now. So I was a little, sketched out about that. Like, oh man, they're gonna think I'm a creepo. And then it was like, who gives a fuck? I'm not really doing this podcast for myself anymore. I'm doing this podcast for you guys, for anyone that I can help and that I can reach. Because to be honest, right now, if I had my way and I wasn't trying to push myself to help people, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd be at home playing FIFA or taking a nap before I have soccer practice tonight. Helping people and the goal of helping people has been the driving force and the difference to me in turning my life around, not in terms of just sobriety, but in terms of happiness. A lot of the stuff I'll take from 12-step programs such as AA, NA, things that are designed to kind of combat addiction. They're not just for addiction, they're for your mental health. They're tools you can take with you every single fucking day of your life. Addiction and mental illness within itself kind of go hand in hand. A lot of people like myself use the substances or any other kind of addiction, whether it's sex, whether it's dating, whether it's anything unhealthy, porn, social media. We all use something to try to escape our own feelings, and nothing fucking changed for me when I did that. It only got worse and worse and worse. And as far as up until the point that I came out here, my brother's death took 2 lives with him because I was no longer alive. I was practically dead. I was practically gone. Um, and I've been able to find within myself some kind of happiness left and some kind of purpose left. And I'm just hoping I can do that for fucking someone out there. That's my biggest goal. I'm not here to shit on drugs. I'm not here to shit on alcohol. I had some of the best fucking times of my life doing both of those things. It's just for certain people, we have an allergic reaction to those substances, and our body doesn't treat it the same way, and we just can't stop. And that was me. Once I started, I could not fucking stop, no matter how bad I wanted to. No matter the consequences that it put in my way, no matter the obstacles it created for me. It just ruined everything, and the only thing I cared about was getting high. The only thing I cared about was drinking myself until the point where I couldn't feel. Where I couldn't feel that anxiety. Where I couldn't feel that depression. And I'm free in a way that, people can be sober and be miserable, but then what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? There's no fucking point in being sober and miserable. Um, but I've been blessed to be handed the tools to kind of find peace within myself and a lot that's been going on. And by all means, that doesn't mean that I have it all figured out. Like I don't have it all figured out. I'm just trying to throw out the things that helped me to you guys with this podcast. And on top of that, even if you can just relate to something that I went through or something that I'm saying, and it creates a little safe space for you to feel a little bit more comfortable or a little less alone, that's all I want. At the end of the day, I need less people to die from drug overdoses. I've lost a lot of friends besides my brother to that. And I need less people to die from suicide. And I mean, at the end of the day, a drug overdose is as good as suicide. So I need those two things. My ultimate goal would be to help people steer away from that. But I would also like to help somebody feel like themselves again. Like, remember how when you were little and there were no issues in the world? There were no wars you had to worry about. There was no, oh, she looks better than me on social media. He's got a better jawline. She's got a better ass. Oh man, he's making more money. I don't have that fucking car. Why don't I have that fucking car? Why am I so slow in my life? All these fucking thoughts. You know, there was a time in your life where those things didn't exist. And there's also a possibility for those things to not matter anymore and for you to just kind of find the happiness within here instead of looking at other people. Let's not distract ourselves anymore. If you're using, let's get fucking sober together. I'm only 116 days in. If you can't do the math, that's like right under 4 months. So I'm not fucking too heavy into this shit. Let's do it together. Get sober with me. Keep track with me. And if you're just here because of mental illness stuff, like, let's find that fucking happiness within inside of you. Let's find ways to fucking confront it and deal with it. And I would like for this to be a symbiotic relationship where I give you guys info, and you guys are also more than welcome to flood my inboxes, flood my DMs, flood my comments with things that have helped you. And I would like this to become a community, ultimately, where we're all helping each other. It's not just me. It's the people in the comments are helping each other. Maybe some of you guys start your own fucking podcast with your journeys and what you learned. Like, this isn't about me, is the point. This isn't for me. So let's fucking do it. Let's create this safe space. I need to be of service to some people. I need to give back what was given to me. If you're feeling any type of way at all, even if you feel this way sometimes, just come here. Let's fucking let's do this together. Don't let it just be me either. If I give you something, please go spread it to other people. I'll cap it off today with a little bit of it, and possibly we'll go into it next podcast too. It's just fucking gratitude. It's so fucking simple. It's so remedial that we forget about it every day. We all have something to be grateful for, and if you think you don't and you're hearing this right now, you're alive. That's something to be grateful for. You have a chance. As long as you're alive, you have a fucking chance. There is a chance for you to be happy as long as you're alive. I mean, for me right now, this fucking view is fantastic. I'm grateful that I had the willpower to push through and make this video when I had a million things in my head trying to stop me, like it usually does. I'm grateful to have the friends that I've made out here. I'm grateful to have the people that I've earned back by fixing my life and turning it around, that I've earned back, like my family and some of my friends. I'm grateful to be playing soccer again. I'm playing soccer out here in LA on a semi-pro team. Fucking fantastic. I'm grateful that I've been working out. I've gained 25 pounds. I'm no longer a little fucking stick figure. So they teach us this in recovery out here in LA. But it's a big thing, I think, if you want to be happy for anyone. When you wake up, the first thing you should do in the morning is just a list of gratitude. Whether it's in your head, but if it's in your head, like, be for real about it. Don't fucking sit there and be like, oh, like, run down the list real quick. Like, fucking go through it and just appreciate how lucky you are to have whatever you're saying you're grateful for. And then if you're writing it, even better. Putting pen to paper, put your thoughts on paper, and it makes it real. It makes it a tangible fucking thing. But if you start your day with a gratitude list, very It's very rare that you're going to do that gratitude list and then have a bad mood about the rest of your day, unless something else is already going on. But if you just wake up on a neutral day and you start a gratitude list, you're gonna have a better day. And if you make a habit of that, and don't say the same fucking 5 things over and over, keep finding new things to be grateful for. And you can go back, you can circle back to things, but don't put the same fucking 5 things every day. Find new things to be grateful for, and with that, your appreciation for life is going to flourish. And ultimately, your appreciation for life determines your happiness. Your perception of your life is what's going to determine who you are, how you treat people, how you think. I got here and I didn't want to write a fucking gratitude list. I was coming down off fucking cocaine binge and I was detoxing from alcohol. You think I wanted to fucking write down 5 things when I was hungover as shit the next morning? Fuck no. Hell no. That was the last thing I wanted to fucking do. But I did it. It's because I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do the things that are required for me to continue staying sober, to continue fighting my depression, fighting my anxiety, and to continue growing. I'm not stagnant anymore. I'm doing things. I also applied for film school. Who the fuck ever thought I was going to go back to school? I fucking didn't. But here I am, kind of getting shit done. And it started out for me, the first thing they fucking told me to do was a gratitude list. So the first thing I'm telling you to fucking do is a gratitude list. And I know it's going to be a pain in the ass first thing in the morning before you have your coffee. You're not going to want to do it. But part of getting better is doing the things that you don't want to do. If you keep doing the same things that you've been doing and staying in the same patterns, nothing's going to change. How would you expect anything to change? Whereas maybe try something new. Try it for a week. See if your week's a little bit better. You know, come back to me in the comments after a week of doing it and just let me know. And be honest. If it didn't fucking work, I'm not going to get mad at you. Some things work for some people, some things don't. But for me, this was fucking imperative to the 180 turnaround my life has made. After the gratitude list, like, don't just forget about gratitude the rest of your day. Go through your day. Appreciate things. Appreciate if your mom calls you. Don't be bothered by it. Don't feel like it's a chore. Appreciate if your grandmother calls you. Appreciate if your friend reaches out for help because they feel safe with you. You should be grateful that they feel safe with you. Be grateful that the sun comes up and you get to see that. Be grateful that you get to sleep and hopefully you have a bed. And if you get to sleep in a bed, be fucking grateful because there have been a lot of times where I've not had a bed. And don't get me wrong, like, as we go through this podcast, like, my story's not shit. I'm not trying to sit here and like big bro any of you. I've come out here and realized I met a lot of the fucking people. I had a fucking cakewalk compared to a lot of the people out here, but it's not about comparing. It's just about breaking your patterns that are leading you into this dark path and starting something fucking new. And it starts with gratitude. It starts with being appreciative, even when you don't think you have anything to be appreciative for, even when your boss, like, just turned down your fucking pay raise, you flunked a test at school, your girlfriend just broke up with you. It sucks. It doesn't not suck just because you're grateful for life. It just sucks a little less. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to go away, but it certainly will be easier to get through. Starting out, I didn't do this for myself. I did this because I was hurting my friends. I was hurting my family. I did this because I realized if I go down like this and I overdose or end up killing myself because I'm so fucking depressed, then my brother's death killed both of us. And I can't do that. I can't do that to him. That's not what he would want. What? And eventually, you'll get to a point where that most important person is you. It's yourself. Because now I'm doing this for me. Now I'm here and I show up every single fucking day to the AA meetings. Sometimes I don't want to, but I do. And I'm gonna have other people on here. I have some pretty big names in mind. Like, luckily, being where I am in LA, I have the luxury of kind of having people with big names who you may not even know are suffering from addiction, who you may not even know have suffered from severe mental illness. And I'm hoping I can get some of the friends I've made out here to come on and hopefully tell you their story too. So, down the line, I that's another thing I'll add to my gratitude list is that I have a very, very vast selection of very cool people to talk on here. Some of them you may not know. Some of them might just be a regular guy like me, that I think they have a cool story or I think they have really good insight. But yeah, also cool people that are going to be coming on and hopefully giving you their side of things and hopefully something you can take away from it as well. So that's something I'm grateful for. You know, I'm grateful to be doing this for you guys. I am grateful to be fucking alive. Grateful to be me. I've had so much shit happen to me, but at the end of the day, never thought I'd say it. I'm grateful to be me. And I hope I can help you get there too. But I'm going to wrap up today. Um, this is one day at a time, and daytime is ending. So hopefully next time I'll learn my lesson and start a little sooner for you guys. But yeah, that was the first episode, and gratitude is the name of the game for the first one, guys. Start that fucking gratitude list. Don't be lazy on me. I'll see you guys next time around. Thank you for tuning in.